Yeah, there's that good,
Cobain's good
comforting
robot
alien
voice.
monster that I've come to love like my own child. I don't know what you're talking about, Lindsay. Um,
Maverick, did you hear? Ren loves a voice more than you.
so, by the way, sound check is good on everyone. Everyone sounds good.
Yeah,
Yep.
everyone's coming through nice and clear.
Yep. Okay. Um, so you guys are currently you've been hired by Aveline's ex-boyfriend Knox to investigate suspected foul play in the death of a mutual friend of theirs who was the king of this planet. Um, and the planet's name was Bucchinia.
Oh yeah.
Bucchinia.
Yeah.
Oh god, now I remember this game.
The dead king's name was Daragh, and his brother, who is the current reigning king, is named Ire. You guys consulted. So, Amil, Mate, and Roy went to kind of the poor part of town, and among other things, they investigated an area called the Gray Market, which is like the black market, but like the cops just kind of turn the other cheek. And at the Gray Market, you guys learned that the king used to hold something called the Beggar's Feast, which has been canceled now that Ire has taken the throne. And you learned that people around town have been going missing at night. Primarily people who were alone and who were outside alone at night. So that has the poor populace, who are often people that don't have the choice, not that have to go out alone at night, such as like, fishermen and street workers and stuff like that. It has them all pretty freaked out. Then Aveline, Ruda and Anwar went up to talk to people in the castle, and they met a servant named Bush, who is the best character in the game so far, hands down. And things that they learned from Bush are, so there's a company named SportRiot, which used to be Ruda's sponsor back during his wrestling career, and
SportRiot.
fucking SportRiot, man. So SportRiot owns the other planet in this star system. They have a complicated political history with the people of planet Bucchinia. There's a man named Mr. Haelsworth, who is the official representative of SportRiot. He's living here along with his daughter Jenny. Ever since Daragh died and Ire took the throne, everything has just been going suspiciously well for SportRiot since that happened. Public policy has like really turned in their favors. They went from having to stay in like grungy rooms in the inn to having their own official suites in the political the royal part of the city. Other things they learned are they learned about Lord Gadburt, who is the captain of the guard, and he has not been super suspicious about the king's death, because the king's death was labeled as death by stroke in his sleep. And Lord Gadburt thinks that sounds about right. Ser Payter, who is Lord Gadburt's son, has been pretty sus about all that, and has been trying to investigate has been trying to do some investigation about that, but this has Ire did not like that because it is digging up painful memories of his brother's death, so Ser Payter has been put on paid leave. You also learned that Jenny, who is the daughter of Mr. Haelsworth, and Ser Payter have maybe possibly been having some kind of relationship going on. You learned about a tavern called Ol Dobb's Tavern, which is a popular gathering space for some more rebellious members of the city. And you also learned that Ire used to be a super anarcho-punk anti-corporatist who has been acting against SportRiot for most of his life and used to hang out at Ol Dobb's Tavern a ton. Interestingly, Jenny, the daughter of Mr. Haelsworth, also was hanging out at that tavern. Hold on. I will not do exercise. So you learned that those two were hanging out there, but ever since Ire took the throne, he has kind of stopped being friends with Jenny. He has become much closer friends with Mr. Haelsworth, and he has completely reversed his political leanings, so he is now very corporatist and has been enacting policies that are very friendly towards SportRiot. Can anybody think of anything you learned that I have not said yet? Oh, Marco, you learned that the King Daragh had a usual handmaid who worked with him, but she went on sick leave a month before his death, and was her role was taken over by a man named Marco, who was serving as his butler, I guess would be the term, at the time of his death. So you guys thought that was kind of sus. And you guys had said that you wanted to talk to the coroner and you wanted to talk to Ser Payter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can anybody think of anything I haven't said yet?
Not really.
Yeah, I feel like that covers all the ground that we covered the last game. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want to do a pregame question, or do you want to just jump right into it? Because I feel like there's a lot of good juicy stuff going on, and I don't know whether you guys want to interrupt the momentum of that to do a pregame question. It's your call.
Yeah, I'd be fine just jumping right in, because at this point we have a lot of stuff that we'd probably like to cover.
Okay, so if I may, we had mentioned at the end of the last game that before you guys do anything else, it might be a good idea for everyone to reconvene and share your findings. So how about we have all of the players along with Nox and Nox's special friend Lise. How about we have all of you guys meet up at Ol Dobb's Tavern to go over and share notes?
That
Does
works.
that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm moving characters over there. So you guys start sharing what you have found, etc. And I'm going to work on. Okay. You don't need to share all the facts because you guys just heard all the facts. But let's have. Why don't you guys do a real quick character scene of you guys grouping back up? And in the meantime, I'm going to be doing some setup.
I feel like Aveline would probably just be like, hey guys, so you're not going to believe this. Me and Ruda ran into the best servant ever up at the castle. His name is Bush. He's got the best accent in the world. And I know that all of this sounds really unimportant, but he actually told us a lot of great shit. Namely, we have a suspect now. So there we go.
And just to reiterate, Bush's name, that is not his given Christian name. That is a nickname, but he would not tell you where the nickname came from.
Yeah, I feel like I do remember that for sure.
Also,
like gardening?
Maybe.
Okay. Go on. Cool.
I think she asked where it came from, and he said something like, "If you have to ask, you can't handle the truth," or something.
Or he said something
Yeah.
like,
Something very ridiculous.
where did it come from? And he goes, college.
Ruda's
Yeah.
sitting down, and he slams his fist on the table, and he's like, "Goddamn fucking SportRiot, they're at it again."
Amil asks Ruda, are they always at it?
Yeah, I guess that's their motto. Like, we're at it.
That's pretty good.
SportRiot, we're at it.
Oh my god. I'm imagining a future where, like, Under Armour owns Venus, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's literally like what's going on here. Okay, so I've dropped in a nice little tavern scene for us here. All right. So Knox and Lise, thank you guys for the good detective work you have done thus far. I wanted to ask, okay, so where do you guys want to go next with the investigation, given all the information that I gave you just now? And would you like to continue splitting up, or do you guys all want to travel together?
At this point, we have a bunch of stuff that we probably need to consolidate and figure out what information we feel is the most believable. Like, do we trust our sources so far?
Wow.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Aveline trusts Bush with her life.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Then
trust
yeah.
Bush. I just have a great feeling about him.
I'm asking
Ruda
Aveline,
definitely
like,
trusts Bush.
do you feel
I think that
comfortable
Bush has
with
earned a
what they told us?
preemptive invitation to Aveline's wedding, just whenever and whoever that happens with.
Okay.
Only if he brings Kazap. But Mikhail, what did you say?
I was just like, I want to make sure that we know that, like, the info that we're following is safe to deal with, because it's like what we came across in the gray market makes us believe that, like, there's a lot going down that they're not telling us. And if they're willing to just, like,
Yeah.
put the kibosh on stuff like the Beggar's Feast, which seems to be a very big thing here, then there's a little bit more that we're not being told.
Well, that's what's interesting, because I think that those are the two connecting pieces of evidence between what your group found and what our group found. Like, the Beggar's Feast not happening anymore regularly since Ire took over, and the fact that Daragh got Marco as an assistant, like, right before he died. It seems like they started making changes in the hierarchy, like, right before things went bad. Daragh died, and then all of a sudden, here goes the Beggar's Feast, it's out the window. Here goes, Ol Dobb's taverns, meetings, they're out the window. Like, a bunch of stuff seemed to change right when Marco came into the picture, at least from Aveline's point of view. So that's
Also-
probably what she's interested in following the
Mhm.
most.
Important clarification, just because it's another avenue for you to investigate. The Ol Dobb Tavern meetings you did not hear anything to indicate they've stopped, only that Ire stopped.
Ire is not
from
going.
them.
Yeah.
And Ire became just a huge corporate bootlicker.
Yeah, he's a tool now. Can't wait to talk to him.
Who
Yeah.
who do and this is I'm asking as myself to the DM, who would it be that we have direct access to?
Well, so Knox and Aveline both have the excuse of being old friends with Ire, but you guys have to make your own decision of how far you think that will carry you. You probably can visit Lord Gadburt in the barracks, because that's a public office. The coroner would be a little more tricky for you to get access to. Ser Payter is on paid leave, so technically there's nothing stopping you. Like, technically he's just a citizen right now, so if you can find him, you can talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Haelsworth would probably be a little tricky to talk to. Marco would probably be a little tricky to talk to. Anyone in Ol Dobb's tavern, you have no reason to believe that they would be hard to get in touch with. I think those are all the usual suspects right now.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Hey,
Amil,
nice call with
are you
music,
feeling
Tyler. Perfect.
good about where we're at right now? Like, do you feel safe here? I don't know. I think there's this thing where right now mate doesn't feel good on this planet, and it's kind of the first time that it's been like this, where actively they don't feel good in a space.
Yeah, this planet's giving me a weird feeling as well.
Like
I
something's
think
off, and I can't tell because I don't have a warp shadow. So I don't know if like
Well,
y'all
and
are
see,
feeling weird.
it's funny that you mentioned that because that is something that I wanted to do in terms of like if we're going to be doing a lot of investigation, like if the group wants to stay together and go and investigate, that's cool, but I'm wondering if it would be smart for me to try and use dive to get some more information. Like would it be possible for me to dive and explore the castle and just see what I can find while listening to people since they can't see me?
Well, how about how about we have that be like the small split up. Aveline will dive and do some paranormal investigation, and
Joseph
then
Johnson? Sorry, I'm just saying ghost names now.
yeah, and then
Scaring us.
and then
Don't do that.
the other players will pick one of the aforementioned individuals to make contact with. So what are you guys thinking as a good person to go talk to next? There is... Okay, I cannot remember if you heard this last game, but there's one other thing that you should have learned last game. There is a rumor going around that some of the patrol guards around the castle have seen some stuff that has them spooked. So that is one other thing you can investigate.
Ruda wants to just go talk to directly to Marco.
That'll be tricky. You just have to come up with a plan for how you're going to do that.
Yeah, I think we would try to see the king, and then we'd probably be meeting Marco by doing that.
He would definitely be there if you spoke to the king, but you would, in any normal capacity, if you asked to have an audience with the king, it would limit your options of what you can ask and say to Marco from just a social standards perspective,
Right.
There are some things that it would be weird to say in a formal a formal royal meeting or whatever. But remember, because Aveline...
What if we sneak into the king's bedchambers at night?
Very much an option. Also, Aveline and Nox are friends with Ire, so it would not be inappropriate for you guys to ask Ire to meet you in a less formal setting.
Yeah, I think Aveline, most importantly, probably has a really good excuse to come see him, just not only because of their previous connections, but she can play off the card of, I'm so sorry I missed Darach's funeral, and I really just want to have a chance to talk to you, see how you're feeling, express my condolences, etc., etc.
Yeah. Alright. So, So are you guys going to go to the castle, ask to have a message sent to the king requesting a kind of like, maybe that he goes out to have coffee with you guys or something to do a, so you can ask him some questions?
He probably has.
I think we should request a formal meeting, but just keep in our back pocket that we're just gonna sneak in.
Okay.
Feel free to use knocks to your advantage.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you guys want to request a formal meeting with the king?
Oh, this is gonna be so cool because Aveline's gonna be there, but not
Yeah,
really.
you're already gonna be there. That's why I think we should do that.
Very good. Okay, I'm moving you guys all over to the castle. Alright, and I'm moving you into the throne room space. Let me... Here's a really good question.
Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was trying to say something earlier, but I think that my mic was all fucked up because my computer is shitty right now.
What do you want to say?
So while we were sitting in that bar, Roy would have been pretty quiet, but would have chimed up at some point to say that while you guys are going to look through, well, he would have communicated it this way. A haiku. He would have said, "Chaotic high noon, a proclaimed opaque king sings, betrayed by the blood." Meaning that he's going to go investigate himself, starting here. He's going to scale the cliffs from back by where the throat was, and while Aeneas is going through, or Aveline is going through in her dive form to look through the place, he's going to go through here, probably come up through a mausoleum here, and pretend to be a ghost to kind of see if the guards get freaked out and infiltrate the castle with under the cover of fear, basically. If anybody sees them, they'll run away screaming.
Okay, that's very good. What are you doing to make yourself seem like a ghost?
I am putting an illusion over myself with the disc drone. Making myself look like just an undead risen person from the graveyard.
It's so good. Okay. All right. So. All right. Then I'm gonna start with. You guys are. You guys talk to one of the servants who reaches out to the king. I think there's probably like 20 minutes or something that you need to wait around while he finishes up with something he's currently working on. But then he does agree to meet with you in the throne room. Oh my god. Okay, so the king with Marco and with a couple other guards and such actually made some people for just this occasion. Where do you think that I put them? I think they're still in... Nope, not in here. In here? One, two, and which one of these do I want to use? Let's this feels more appropriate. Okay, so back and okay, yeah, this looks good to me. So this is gonna be the royal guard. Every one of them is equipped with a shield and spear, as you see here. You also see that that each of them has a pistol at their hip, and that the spears have a handle at the base and a barrel at the tip, indicating that they are some kind of combination spear rifle thing.
What the fuck?
Shit.
Gun blades.
This is not.
It's called a
super
gun
unusual.
lance.
This is actually something you're kind of.
Gun lance is better.
It's a gun lance.
Yeah, this is just a kind of. It is a standard piece of equipment that you'll see in a lot of like, for lack of a better word, like bougie settings. It's not a super practical weapon, but it is a weapon that somebody might use if they wanted to. Yeah, it's like ceremonial.
Ceremonial,
This is not what you would use in a battlefield, but if you want to have the ceremonial look of being a like guard with a spear, but also want to have the practicality of a rifle on hand.
A person could use it to kill the shit out of you.
Yeah, they could.
You can absolutely kill a lot of people with a gun lance.
Yeah.
Fun
Okay.
fact, these were actually real things. They existed in medieval Europe.
That doesn't surprise me because it is basically just a rifle with bayonet.
The more frequent combination was the mace gun, as in it was like a spiked ball on the end of basically a barrel, but you could move the spiked ball and just use the barrel as a gun.
Oh wow.
Okay, so you guys start that meeting, and I think that for the time being, there's just some like I think there is just some like formal business happening. There's formal introductions and readings of like official positions and stuff like that. We're also gonna have we've got a butler for you guys here, and we do have a royal scribe who is taking notes. So this is kind of the scene that's going on here. Let me actually one more thing. I'm gonna grab a background because this feels like a significant enough setting, to warrant having a nice concept art, environment. Urban, and it's not perfect, but this'll do. Okay, and to back. Oops. Make that. And now that we have the scene set a little bit more, I'm gonna move these people around a little. Shift. Oh, come on. It's not perfect, but there's a kind of scene for the throne room. Now that we have set this up, I actually don't want to start with this scene. I want to start with Roy's scene. So, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's actually 3 scenes that are happening right now. We have the people who are talking to the king. We have Roy doing his espionage, and then we have Aveline doing her espionage, and when she does go into dive, her body basically just goes limp. So I do think that you have one of those fun scenes. You know, in any given movie, the trope where like they have a dead body or like an unconscious person, and somebody is basically like marionetting them to make it look like they're walking around.
Oh my god.
I do think somebody is doing that with Aveline. So can I get somebody?
Weekend at Bernie's with Aveline's body.
First of all, who does Aveline trust to do that?
It would probably be Mate.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But I
Plus,
feel like
I think Mate's the only one that I've ever actually dived in front of before, so he wouldn't have been like freaked out by me just falling out at that point.
I'm digging deep into my nerd bag here. Has anybody ever seen the episode of DS9 where Quark had to do this with Wei Yun? Or not Wei Yun, but with one of the alien representatives from the Dominion who had died under their care, and they tried to convince the Dominion that he wasn't dead. Long story short, they did a Weekend at Bernie's, but they did it with sensors. So there were sensors attached to certain points of the body, like the knees, the shoulders, the spine at the base, and it would make the person look like they were walking around, albeit a bit jerkily and without really responding.
I saw that episode. It's pretty amazing.
I think this is a Guile roll. I can't think of anything other than Guile that fits here, and I think this is almost textbook like Guile that's happening. So, Mate, why don't you go ahead and make a Guile roll for me?
Man, my Guile is a 1.
You can
shit.
remember, you can pass the responsibility off on somebody else.
Oh
Nope.
shit.
Oh, guys.
Did you guys just drop me in the throne room? Did you just like throw my body on the floor?
Okay, Mate. Now, you can use some fate points here. Remember that any fate points you use now you're not going to get them back for quite a while. So you can dump. Oh God, that's the lowest roll possible. It is not possible to get a result lower than that. I will say, if you stay with a 3, then it's going to be bad. But hear me out. So you can spend a fate point to re-roll, and then you will probably need to, from there, spend a couple more fate points to get some extra bonuses thrown in to make that, to get like a respectably high roll. Or, because I think it is more narratively interesting, I will bribe you. If you accept the result of a 3, I will pay you a fate point to just let me go forward with this. It's your call. It's your call.
This is the first time that any of us would have ever met with the king, right?
So Nox and Aveline are both old friends with Ire. None of you have seen anybody else in this room ever before, and everybody other than those two, this is your first time meeting him.
Okay, I'll accept the fate point. I'm gonna eat the 3. I would like to see how you play the scene.
Thank you very much. I'm giving you so you are up to 6 out of 5 fate points. That 6th fate point will stick with you until you use it. Oh boy. Yeah, so I do think that you I think that you are kind of like walking around holding Aveline up by like the scruff of her coat, the collar of her coat, and then as people ask you, like, say that, oh, she's just tired, she had a long night, whatever. And then I think that just as the official introductions for the king happen, the court like scholar official information person he starts reading out the names that he took from each of you guys when you as you were walking in, I think he reads, and this is Lady Aveline of the planet so and so, and old lady of our esteemed king, His Eminence King Ire. And just as he is saying that, I think Mate kind of like Marionette kind of tries to like jaunt her forward to make it look like she's stepping forward, and then leans her down a little bit to make it look like she's bowing. But he had not anticipated how kind of loose the fabric of her open coat was, and she does slip straight out of her coat, and the body just falls flat.
Oh my god.
Face down on the floor. Let me go ahead and flip horizontal here.
Can
Ruda turn into Joseph Joestar and just go, oh my god!
Also, she takes damage from that because like nothing stopped her from hitting like right into the ground.
That is absolutely true. Let me go ahead and.
does she like hit her head on the step?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
she
my
does.
God.
She does
Oh
definitely.
God,
hit her
you
head
guys
on the
gave me a
step.
concussion while I was unconscious.
Again?
You are
Yeah,
going to
she's gonna have to take the
point
concussion
of physical
aspect.
Stress.
Ruda does like a sports replay.
And Amil just like say, surprise! No, that's a terrible idea.
Okay. And so that has happened, and I think that a lot of things are going to happen in response to that, but we're going to come back to that scene because first things first. Hold on, let me go ahead and.
Are we gonna go back to Zai?
I think I want to do Aveline first, and
Okay,
then
okay.
I will circle over to
Aveline feels a spirit punch in her forehead.
Aveline literally just watched that happen. She's in the room with you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, Aveline,
Oh,
how do you
trouble.
like this? How do you like this spectral version of yourself? Right
Oh
here.
my gosh, it's so good.
It's very good, right? Okay, so
She's
wow.
laughing her ass off, by the way. Like she is losing her mind in the warp right now.
okay, so where would you like to go, or do you have any questions? You can do it right now.
Am I getting any type of feelings or seeing anything out of the ordinary, first and foremost?
Okay, you don't see any kind of demonic stuff. The scene in the warp is a standard warp scene for an urban setting. There's the normal amount of minor demons floating around. There's a lot of miscellaneous warp spirits that are neither good nor bad. Very few fey nature spirits in here, which is again normal for an urban setting. You don't see any kind of corruption present, at least no more so than is the standard kind of baseline level of corruption that you see anywhere. Let's see. So you don't see anything to indicate that something demonic is happening, at least in the local area. I'm gonna assume, are you kind of like, your first order of business is that you remember, space is not really an issue in the warp. You can, especially as an astropath, you can kind of just move to any location at will, because in the warp there is no spatial dimension. Everything is one, so you can kind of just be wherever you want as long as you know how to get there. So is it safe to assume that your first order of business is to just kind of poke around a dozen or so rooms and get a census?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You see no particular indication of anything demonic going on. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to decide what this would actually look like in the warp. I know exactly what it is. All right. So we've mentioned in the past that Roy has a really fucking weird warp shadow. Everybody
All
else's warp shadow kind of looks like a foggy, misty impression of their physical body. Roy's warp shadow looks like it is it looks like it's made up of voxels. It looks like a Minecraft character where it's like a three-dimensional pixelated thing, made of these big chunky pixels that kind of like float around and like shrink and grow and flex, and it just looks incredibly not natural. There is nothing else in the warp that you've ever seen that looks at all like Roy, because Roy is not a normal thing. Roy is a digital entity with a soul, which doesn't exist. King Ire looks like that. It's not exactly the same thing. It's I think let's say that Roy's is kind of like these square kind of pixels that are like floating around and make up his shape. King Ire looks like I think that his shape looks like it's made up of a bunch of spheres, like a bunch of little balls kind of collected together in the shape of a person. So still 100% distinctly not normal for the warp, but also not exactly the same thing as Roy's, but same family. How do you respond to that?
I feel like that's gonna just freak her the fuck out. Like, I don't think, because Aveline wasn't an astropath when she was last around Ire, so she doesn't have anything to compare it to. But
what I can tell you is everybody else in the room that is in Ire's like royal entourage is of the same species as him. So if you're looking for like, oh, is this a normal thing for this species? All of them have standard warp shadows.
yeah, this is, and there's nothing strange about Marco's.
Nope. Marco's warp shadow is completely normal.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yep.
Interesting.
Doesn't mean it's not demonic.
Well, she didn't see any demons or anything to indicate supernatural stuff happening.
Yeah, this is very strange because a warp shadow being that unique and the same that it's like Roy's, and considering Aveline still isn't completely sure what Roy is one way or another, like this is pretty scary, especially since everything else is pointing to like, oh, this is very normal. There's a normal amount of demons and corruption here.
Okay, so given that has happened, the scene has proceeded forward a little. I think that when your body hit the floor, these front two guards took a step forward and aimed their spear rifles at the party, kind of just like they are on guard, not that they are like threatening to attack or anything. The butler calmly set down the tray of tea and fuck, what are they called? What's that bougie word for appetizers?
Hors d'oeuvre.
the tray of tea and hors d'oeuvres that he was carrying, and calmly walked over and leaned down and started checking on your body. And then I think maybe one of the guards has walked forward to start questioning Mate about what happened. Now, you have a choice, Aveline. You can re-enter your body, get up, and try to recover the situation a little bit, or you can continue investigating and check out some of these places that would maybe be hard for you to get to with your physical body, or places that you would particularly want to see in the warp, like maybe the morgue or the tomb or something like that. What do you want to do?
Don't come back yet.
I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back to my body. I feel like for Aveline, like the concept of going back into my body and then being back in a physical space with this person who I just saw that kind of warp shadow off of, I'm not about it. So, I mean, you know, Godspeed to you, mate. I wish you luck in getting out of this, but I'ma head out.
All right.
The narrator just comes in and is like, and Amil had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that the main places you would want to visit would either be the royal chambers, the coroner's office, or the tomb.
I'm going to the royal chambers.
Okay. Aveline has moved over to Ire's chambers. Give me just a second. This should only take a moment. I have a particular image that I'm looking for that... It's not that one. Oh no, is it not in here? I pulled all the... I have a folder that I'm looking at that has just a butt ton of concept art from different things that I've taken, and among other things, it has all of the backgrounds from Final Fantasy IX, and I swear there's a background in Final Fantasy IX of the bedroom that what's her name, Dagger stays in when you visit that one city, and that would be just absolutely perfect for what she's looking at.
Yeah, you're talking about the castle city that they go to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that a Lindblom? Can't say that right.
That's familiar.
Yeah, Lindblom.
Yeah, because it's a weird little room, and it has kind of like an overhead, and there are like stairs that go up. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Okay. Well, I'm not able to find it, unfortunately. So, I'll grab something else that looks vaguely appropriate, but just imagine a nice royal bedroom. And what can I use that is a decent approximation of a bedroom? Oh, is this it? Fuck yeah!
Yeah, fam, that's it. Yep.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna put it up here, and I'm going to put this on the map layer, and then I'm going to... I can't just step it back one, can I? Because that would be really nice. To back, back, to back, to back. Okay. So objects. All right. So, Aveline is in there. We will come back to her in just a little bit. Now, I want to, so, Roy, how are you, so it is easy enough for you to get to the cliffs under the graveyard. How are you scaling the cliffs? Are you doing it manually, or are you just using your hover bike?
Combination of free running and hoverboard, or mag whatever thingy. Yeah, mag platform. There we go.
I know what you're talking about. Okay, so
I'm using the disc drone projector to make myself look like a transparent, anonymous dead person. So no one particularly of note, and also not solid, because like the image that I'm trying to project is one that will freak people out and make them leave, not make them get closer and investigate.
So I think this is a guile roll. You have an ability that lets you substitute software roles, but only when doing detective kind of stuff. And I don't think this would qualify as a detective kind of thing. So I think this
Damn
is
it.
guile. I would allow an argument that it is stealth.
What? I didn't even realize what. It wouldn't matter, even if it was stealth. I have ones in both of them.
I'm amazed that Roy has a 1 in stealth.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
me
like Roy
too.
would
That's
be
weird.
super great at stealth.
Yeah, that's what I went into this thinking, actually. Should have looked at my character sheet first.
You're like, yeah, no, man, I'm really good at stealth.
Is there any like deception skill?
Just a second. I'm looking through my character sheet. And I can't really find any justification to use anything other than one of those two abilities, guile or stealth. So I guess we're just gonna hold on. Actually, I'm a fucking assassin. How am I not stealthy? Or former assassin. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna roll. I think I should roll stealth as opposed to guile, because I'm not like, it's not like I'm in front of people trying to like make them believe something different or like trying to gain their confidence like they were in the throne room. I am just trying to remain hidden and put off a false impression. I guess it could be guile, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna roll stealth. Hey!
All right.
yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Holy fucking shit!
Yeah!
I'm pretty sure there is a 2.
Wow.
I think there is a 2% chance to roll either double 1s or double 6s.
Yep, and we've done both, so ta-da.
Yeah, wow. Very good.
I think it's
damn.
2.5.
That actually sounds right. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you did fucking rock it.
It is 2.77778.
So 13 is not normally such a massive roll that I would give you some like bonus stuff going on, but given the circumstances that you did just roll double 6s, do you want to give yourself some kind of temporary aspect to represent doing this really, really good? And I think the action in question is using your disc drone to put this disguise on yourself.
I would like to add an aspect called Disc Drone Predator.
Disc drone predator. All right, I'm not going to put that on your character sheet because I don't think it'll happen long enough to need to reference it. But it's duly noted. You have that very cool aspect.
Are you sure? Why wouldn't we add it to the sheet? Because never
because
mind.
it's probably only going to last this scene, and I don't think this scene is going to last
Okay.
a super long time.
Cool. But yeah, so I basically just used my disc drone to be like the Predator.
Yeah, you look very good. Okay, so here's one thing that happens. You go to you are walking in a very creepy way towards the royal tomb, and there is a permanent honor guard that resides outside of the tomb. You did so good. Normally, I don't think they would have all run away, but you did so good that every one of the honor guard, they start screaming, and as they're running, you say, you hear one of them saying, "Oh God, it's another one! It's another one of the ghosts! They're back!" and runs off. They are presumably. So I think that another thing you hear from them is that they are running to get the court priest to come back and do an exorcism. So you don't know how long that's going to take them, but that's probably how long you have to investigate here.
Interesting.
You head into the royal crypt. There is it is a big open circular room with I think the way this is going to work is it is yeah, here's how it's going to work. So it is a staircase descending down into the ground, and every 10 feet down that it goes, there is another circular space cut out. So imagine a bunch of cylinders that are stacked on top of each other at kind of a diagonal, and that is kind of the space of this room. And then in each of those cylinders, the half of the semicircle that you are able to reach with the walkway, there are crypts positioned along the walls of that semicircle. And the crypts, the tombs, I feel like I'm not using the right word. The very fancy stone boxes that they put the dead bodies in.
Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi. Thank you for that very specific word. Are arranged in rows in this semicircle. You are down to the fifth tier down. The sixth tier has already been cut out using some kind of advanced mining tools, but there's nothing on it yet. And the fifth tier is only it looks like each of these tiers has room for 10 sarcophagi on each tier, and King Daragh is the sixth sarcophagi in this tier. So there's room for 4 more sarcophagi in this tier, and then it'll go down to the next one, and they'll have to cut another tier in.
So I want to investigate King Daragh's sarcophagi, but before I proceed, I'm going to cast Divine Light on this whole room.
Okay, very good call. So you cast Divine Light. Now, you are not able to see into the warp the way that that Aveline is, but as a Hierophant, you have a natural connection to the spirits of light and darkness in the warp. You have a natural affinity to the spirits of light in the warp, and a natural you get a bad feeling when dark spirits are around.
So I'd be able to tell if something either liked or disliked what I just did?
Yeah, it's not science, and it's not a very precise sense, but you get kind of a feeling in the pit of your stomach. I think that you do that, and you get a sensation of things backing away from you. Now, Roy has been an assassin before, so is it fair to say that at some point in Roy's life he has been in places that have had a large collection of dead bodies before?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then
he's used to morgue-like atmospheres.
Yeah. So what I'm going to tell you is this is not some kind of very alarming supernatural thing that just happened. This is places with a lot of dead bodies always have a lot of spirits in them. Some of those spirits are just like human souls, and some of those spirits are the demons that come to prey on human souls. And having cast Divine Light and having whatever was in the warp around you shy away, that's completely normal for this kind of setting.
Okay.
Okay.
So was it but it was like things shying away from me, right?
Yeah.
Like backing away. So I would expect if it was creatures or warp beings of light around, they would have enjoyed the Divine Light. If it was neutral, they would have had no reaction at all. And the only things that I would suppose would move away from me are things that have a darker or more demonic bent to them. Does that make sense?
Have been agitated by it in some way, in the same way that if you make any kind of change in the wild. Wild animals are going to be like intrigued
Okay.
and going to respond to it, but they would not run away. Yeah, you do get a feeling that
But I can discount them being beings of light, though.
yeah, yep, no beings of light here, and well, there are a handful of beings left, probably just one, and it's the one that you can kind of always sense around you. You have sort of, for lack of a better word, a like guardian angel that follows you around, and that's what you channel your powers from. So you can tell that
My
that's where.
stand.
Other than that, there are some demons, as I mentioned with Aveline. There's kind of just always a like background population of demons in like any area. It doesn't seem like this is. It's not like you just set this off in the middle of like a demon city or anything like
Okay.
that.
So since I've chased off all the people and sent them screaming, I'm going to take the illusion from disc drone projector off of myself and use the disc drone projector for programming investigation of the king's sarcophagus.
Are you going to open the sarcophagus?
I'm going to use the disc drone projector to render the top of it transparent before opening it.
Interesting. You render it transparent. There is a dead body inside.
Is it Daragh's actual body?
You were probably shown a photo of Daragh before, a photo of Daragh and of all the other people of interest before starting this mission. Okay. Normally, I would say make a medicine roll. Here, this is another place that I think you can justify using your ability to replace that with a software roll.
Yep. Cool.
Make a software roll to determine some information about the body.
Yeah, I want to figure out if it's actually him or not, and I also want to determine if there has been any kind of other warp signature left on his body as like an after effect of doing something nefarious. All right.
11 aside. You're going to have to make another one after opening it up. The thing you can tell, because you're not going to be able to get a medical diagnosis on him through the sarcophagus, but you are able to get a look at him and then do some analytics on the appearance of the corpse. You know that the corpse is supposed to be about 1 month old. The thing that you discover is that, yeah, this is how I'm doing it. The thing that you discover is that the corpse appears to be actually closer to, like, 2 months old. Just based on appearance and, like, rate of decomposition. It looks like it is more decomposed than it should be in that period of time. Do you want to open the sarcophagus?
Yes.
All right. There is a keypad that is required to do the opening. You could try to brute force open the sarcophagus using whatever kind of tools you have. Like get like an angle grinder out and like grind the locks open or something. Or you could try to hack the keypad.
Yeah, I'm going to use programming investigation again to try to determine the keypad sequence.
Well, and in this case, it would just be a literal software check anyway.
Yeah.
You have an aspect called. You have an aspect that refers to your digital brain.
Synthetic brains are just better.
Yeah, you can also invoke your high concept, which is a synthetic human looking for answers. Like that's.
I'm going to invoke that actually instead. I feel like wouldn't that just accomplish the task without like requiring a roll?
Here's what I will say: if you spend a fate point, you've got 9 fate points.
Yeah, I'll spend the fate point.
Okay. So that bumps you down to 8 fate points, and you are able to pretty quickly hack the keypad. I think it's one of those things where, like, instead of running a program to try to generate a bunch of numbers and try to, like, brute force find the number that you need, you kind of just, like, talk to the computer and ask it for the number that you need, and then it just gives it to you, something like that.
Hey, baby, why don't you open up that lid for me?
Yeah.
That's
oh my
Zai
God.
speaking. That's not Roy. That's not Roy at all.
No, that's Roy
I just
in
had the mental
canon.
concept that Roy is the brain of a computer, and I very much like the idea of back when Roy was just a program. He did spend a lot of time on, like, blank.exe Tinder, where all the programs get together. And I don't know what to do with this information, but that's where my brain went.
Yeah, my brain went to the episode of Futurama where Bender, like, sweet talks the ship's computer.
Oh, yeah.
God, yes, exactly.
She becomes a maniacal freak.
Hey, baby, 01100110001.
Okay, so you do get into the thing. It suddenly occurs to me that I have made a terrible, terrible mistake. No, I can make this work. I thought I was going to have to retcon something pretty huge, but I can make this work. So, why don't you go ahead and you can do another software roll. This is going to be a medicine check using, like, the sensor suite on your device to do kind of like a physical scan of the body and look for abnormalities.
Right.
Go ahead and give me another software roll.
A little bit better.
All right.
That's perfect. Okay. So you discovered that this body was poisoned, and okay. No, I've got a better one. I know how this died. When this body died, it seems like its nervous system, like, fried itself. It's as if the brain generated massive amounts of electrical current, and so there are, like, burn marks all throughout the nervous system. I don't know actually how medicine works, but whatever the medical equivalent of what I just said is, yeah, it seems like the nervous system fried itself from the inside out.
Can we also say in canon that parts of the brain are actually glass from having been fried to such a degree?
I think that they're not glass. I think there are parts of the brain that are just like bricks of charcoal.
Okay. So I feel like Roy would be somewhat familiar with this. Sorry, Aeneas, what were you about to say?
I just wanted to, when you say that his nervous system fried itself, are you saying that occurred after death, or that's what killed him?
The latter. That is
Okay.
what killed him, probably.
Okay.
So yeah, it was not that was not post-mortem activity. That was something that led to the event that caused him to die, I would think. Interesting. So yeah, I think Roy would be familiar or would have some degree of familiarity, or would recognize something about a brain being burned out from some sort of electrical charge.
Yeah, give me a second to think about that, because I do think you've probably seen something somewhat in this family before, but I want to think of I'm
DMing you real quick.
Nope, here's what we're doing. This is not anything that you have seen during your memories from the children of the children of Mendenshire, at least that you remember. But what I can tell you is, roll a intuition check. I know that's a weak skill for you, but go ahead and give it a roll for me.
Maybe lightning will strike twice. Hey, lightning strike
fuck.
twice.
Go.
Indeed it did.
Holy shit. Okay.
Roy
So
is
here's
the
what
fucking
happens.
man.
You
God.
your brain unconsciously does the same thing that Mate did to themselves a while back, where they hacked their own brain. Your brain just recovered a file that it thought was deleted, and
It's like the pointer to that file location was deleted, but the like actual space in the hard drive wasn't overwritten.
exactly.
Oh my god.
And so what you remember is, I think you have, this is before, okay, you don't know your own timeline. So
Correct.
as of this memory, you did not have a physical body. You were just a program.
Mhm.
And as a program, you had access to experiment results, like the database of experiment results, for some kind of trial. You don't remember what trial it was, but you do remember that a very frequent, a great many entries in this database had the outcome field refer to something like this.
Ooh.
Okay. That was all very vague, but did that give you enough information to kind of get an idea of what I was saying?
That definitely did.
All right. That is what you have been told. Now, you've been in here for a handful of minutes while you were doing these tests, and I think that you probably know, just based on I think with Roy, it wouldn't be like a hunch. I think it would be, you probably have like a function in you have running where like you have memorized the blueprint of, the castle grounds, and you know how long it takes somebody to get to the clergy room and then back, and you know that you have about 5 minutes or less before people get back here. Do you want to do anything before you bail?
I think Roy. I've opened the sarcophagi, right?
You have.
Okay. I think Roy would take a small sample from the body, like a fingernail or a hair, and then would use a combination of free running and the mag platform to put himself up on the ceiling so that if somebody comes in and they don't immediately look up, they won't see him, and get the fuck out of there.
Okay. Did you close the tomb back up?
Oh.
You can say that you did. It's your call.
Yeah, I closed it.
Okay. All right. So everything has been closed back up, and you have made your way out. I'm not going to make you roll again, considering how good your other rolls have been this scene. You have gotten out of there, and you have discovered some tasty information to work off of. So I think that, all right, we've done an Aveline scene, we've done a Roy scene. now we have to do the everybody else scene. And God, I have to let you know that me as a like human being, my social anxiety is going up just having to like role play this scene. Because this is so fucking awkward what just happened. Yeah, okay, so we're back in the throne room. Aveline's body just fell out of her coat and hit the floor. Yeah, I think there's a moment of stunned silence, and then the guards step forward and like hold their weapons at the ready. And then the butler casually puts down the stuff he's holding and walks forward, and he is going to lean down and start inspecting Aveline's body, and then he stands up very, very tall and proper, and he says, "My lords and ladies, I regret to inform you that the lady here seems to have fallen ill. If I might..." Oh, sorry. Oh my God. Jesus, I almost just made a terrible, terrible mistake. He is supposed to be talking with a Minnesotan accent.
Yes!
Okay. My lords and ladies, yes! Oh, I am... Oh, God.
I mean, you're
I'm trying
committed to
do
this. No.
Minnesotan accent and bougie butler accent simultaneously.
My lords and ladies.
My lords and ladies.
I am, doing things. I regret to inform you that the lady seems to have fallen ill. I would recommend sending her to the medical bay. Oh God, I've fallen into Indian somehow. Okay, yeah, he's, I can't do him and this accent, but he does recommend taking Aveline to the on-site like medical room. If you do so, that is going to cut the scene basically to an end, and it's gonna make some people start asking questions.
Okay, yeah, no.
So that might close off opportunities for you.
Yeah, no, I
going
think
forward.
I have an idea of how I'd like to resolve this. So
Okay.
if you would allow me to use the fate point that you had just granted me to use one of my aspects, I'd like to go ahead and deftly pick Aveline up. So I want to use my like extender arms to like very quickly wrap around her waist and pull her up and kind of like jiggle her a little bit and make it seem as if, oh no, I was just human drunk, I'm fine now. And then also use my other extender arm to grab a tea and then just like pour it on her lips and she'll be fine.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Because you are spending a fate point, I will allow you to roll for this.
Okay, cool beans.
You do know what you are asking of me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will allow you to roll for this. You're going to need to roll Guile. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's see what happens.
Come on, Gary!
All right.
Oh,
That's legit.
God.
That's legit. That'll let it happen, right?
All right.
Light as green, trap is clean. All right, we're picking up human Aveline.
Okay. So with a combination of clever body puppetry and do you think that you could say that you have like, so obviously Mate doesn't have a voice. Mate has like speakers in their head that they can project. They have like a standard voice profile they can project out of, but
yeah, I'm
because
doing
they're
an
programmed
Aveline
with-
Vocaloid. I have enough
Yeah.
of Aveline's data that I can just generate sentences, and it's a pretty decent deep fake.
Zai, what is the thing you told me about? There's a name for like a program that's out there now that can generate like video and sound recordings. You can take enough video data of somebody and just generate like a video of them saying whatever you want.
I can't remember the specific name for it. Yeah, it was some kind of deep fake.
Yeah, it is
stuff,
like a deep
but-
fake. Like as
Okay.
long as you feed enough data into it, it's good
Yeah.
enough to be like, oh, I can just make full ass sentence. I could record a podcast as
You are-
Aveline if I wanted.
Now, and I will say, I don't know if you have an aspect on your character sheet currently, but there is an implied aspect. You and Aveline are very close friends.
I would think of all the people on the ship, I'm probably besties with Aveline.
Yeah, that certainly
Yeah,
makes sense
That's
to
a
me.
dynamic duo.
So I think that you certainly have had enough conversations with her to be able to do that. So you use your Aveline Vocaloid to make some apologies for her, and then I think the butler suggests that oh my fucking god.
It's
Hold
called
on, hold on.
auto encoding, and
Oh, wow.
generative adversarial networks.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
Okay, hold on. I gotta do a sample sentence in Minnesotan. Oh yeah, they're just heading down to the Dave and Buster's, don't you know? Okay, so the butler said, if I might recommend, how about the lady set herself down on this nice comfortable chair and have a good rest to clear her head. And he starts pouring some tea, and you kind of puppet Aveline's fucking limp corpse onto the chair. Holy shit. You guys, holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, this is great, and I hope none of the group is super worried, but I'd love to know what everyone else is thinking.
Amil is just like a blank slate right now.
So, yeah, King Ire, I think, mentioned something about the fact that he's disappointed that he will not have an opportunity to speak with his good friend Aveline, but perhaps he can make another appointment to speak with her later. He asks if Nox or any of the rest of you, has anything that you would like to address with him. Otherwise, he would love to have a conversation with Nox and just catch up on old times, etc. Where do you, any player can speak in here, it doesn't have to be in character. Where do you, as a party, want this conversation to go?
Ruda just wants
I'm wondering whether, like, what the timing of this scene is with the one that Roy just got out of. Like, is Roy still in the middle of leaving the Royal Mausoleum or whatever? Or
Roy has just walked into the Mausoleum, if that, at this point. This is still very early in the scene compared to everything else.
Simultaneous, gotcha.
Okay.
Sorry, Morgan, go ahead.
No, you're good.
What did you want to get out of this scene, Ruda?
Ruda wants to find out what the role is with SportRiot and the king a little bit more.
Okay. Can you? I think that we can probably say that you guys had a chance to coordinate some stuff with Knox beforehand. So Knox will ask the questions, but he's going to ask the questions that you guys have told him to ask. So, what is a question you want Knox to ask along those lines?
Ruda's just gonna come out and say it. Like, what the hell is their problem with SportRiot? Why are they involved in SportRiot? SportRiot's a horrible corporation.
Yeah. So I think King Ire says, "Oh yeah, I know. In my younger days, I was kind of hard on those corporations, and I think I was unfair. You know, corporations, they're kind of like people too. I think in their own way, corporations have their own feelings, and and many of my friends have been unfair to them. SportRiot has always done well by us, and you know, it's just so fun and such a good time to have them associated with us, and have you perhaps you would like to join us for a royal dinner tonight, and we can share a nice vintage bottle of Kazakh. Hi, we're all okay here. I did just drop my sandwich on my PlayStation 3.
Oh no!
Time to get a PS5.
Apparently my plate was more precariously balanced than I had anticipated.
Oh, I guess now you got to eat that PS3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some cleanup after the game, but we can keep going forward for now. No damage done. Yeah, so he has invited you to have a royal dinner with him and share a fine meal of kazap. And I think that, you know, is there anything that's kind of like Cliff Bars, but okay, like protein bars? Is there a big brand of protein bars that is targeted at like fitness buffs?
Yeah.
Really?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Power bar.
You're right, because they've got
hikers and climbers.
they've got hikers and climbers and stuff like that.
Or Odwalla bars.
Yeah, Kazap has a bar brand called Kasmush.
Yeah.
Gross.
So I think you mentioned that there is the kind of the in-universe equivalent of Cliff Bars that they would be serving as an appetizer. Okay, so he has made that invitation to you and has said basically just that he had judged SportRiot unfairly in his younger years. So that's the answer to your question. Next question or comment. And remember, anybody, you can either make the question yourself or you can have Knox ask the question. You know, you guys were very excited to have this conversation with Ire. I believe your big justification for wanting to have this conversation was actually to get some information about Marco, if that helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy's not in the room.
Well, you as a player can say that you made a suggestion to Knox to ask a question.
Okay.
Yeah, Knox could ask on our behalf for a referral.
Yeah.
Like, can we request some private time with Marco?
Okay. I want you to explain to me your justification that your characters give for why you want to have some private time with the king's butler. Because I'm gonna say that sentence that I just said sounded pretty sus.
So
because
here's
the
what it
king
is,
is a busy
'cause-
man.
Yeah,
and
one, the king
his assistant would be the next best person that would be able to show us all of the most interesting places in the kingdom.
But the king's in there, just like, what's up, y'all?
Yeah,
no,
but
but like
I think that you guys-
specifically,
I think
like
that is absolutely on the money because if it was some matter of state, then Marco would not be the person to have that conversation because Marco is not like a politician or a lord or anything like that. There's probably like a next in line, a like, you know, royal scribe or something like that. That would be more appropriate to have that kind of conversation. But if the conversation is, we would like somebody to give us a tour around the castle and the city, and we don't want to bother the king, it would absolutely be appropriate to suggest that that perhaps the king's butler could you know, fill that role. So, is that what you guys want to have Knox suggest?
yes, please.
Yeah, we want to get some private time with Marco.
So
What were the pieces of information again that we found out, mate? Like, we found out that the guards had some kind of issue. Bryn, can you remind me?
the beggar's feast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then people are disappearing.
We should ask, or
So-
Roy would have suggested that you guys ask him why, or if he has any information about the disappearances, why the Beggar's Feast was put on hold or delayed or stopped.
So to answer, so I'll answer those two questions. For the first one, his answer is why the Beggar's Feast was canceled. I think he's going to say something about the fact that it is it was a horrible misuse of government funds to be wasting government assets on niceties for the lesser people or something like that. It's
Ooh.
some incredibly douchey line, and also a
Fuckboy.
line that, just based on what you guys have heard, is incredibly out of character for the old Ire and incredibly in character for the current Ire.
Interesting.
Okay. The second question was if he knows anything about the disappearances, and I think he says that something along the lines of that commoners are very silly people and are always getting themselves in trouble, and he's sure that perhaps there's a new criminal organization that a lot of people have been getting into debts with or something like that. He has ordered his guards to look into it, but the way that he words it is not that he has ordered his guards to look into the missing people's reports, but that he has ordered his guards to look into a potential new criminal organization. And there's kind of a tone of the reason he's doing that is because a criminal organization would be an inconvenience for the kingdom, not as a doing something to protect the health of the citizenry.
Okay, I have two quick questions then. One is there any way that we can position ourselves to ask for the Beggar's Feast to be put back on, even if it's at our expense?
Wait. So repeat the question.
So it's he doesn't want to do it because it seems like it's not important to have, and that just seems off anyway. But if it's not coming out of his pocket, and if SportRiot isn't going to sponsor the Beggar's Feast, which maybe that's my follow-up question, is how come you can't get your corporate sponsor to sponsor this thing that the people like? Could we just pay for it to have it again?
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I think that interesting. So I think that when you suggest that, Ire is very intrigued and says that, yeah, that is an opportunity that I had not considered, that perhaps the Beggar's Feast could be continued without putting it on a government budget, but instead putting it on SportRiot, and I think he then runs with it from there, and he says like, and of course we would have to forbid the potluck side of it where people are able to bring their own food and stuff like that, and we would have to make it so that all of the food is available to buy from our corporate sponsors, and
Fucking Democrat.
usually where I'm going with that.
Okay, that's, you know what, for now, and I'm just saying to the party that like that's not how that's going to happen, but like I'd like to accept that as it is because I'd like to get that back on the books. I have a follow-up, and this is to the DM, Bren. Can I find out whether or not this dude is fucking possessed?
Well, you can ask Aveline after she gets back, and she will inform you that there's no demons going on, but he does have a fucked up warp shadow.
Is there anything that would be off on him that in the way that he's speaking, or something that like I could catch in like his mannerisms that just feels...
Yeah, fucking roll an intuition for me.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can I help with that?
Do you wanna spend a fate point to either re-roll that or add some bonuses to that? You rolled a 4 out of 12, which is low enough that the probability favors you if you want to re-roll it.
Yeah, let me see. I would like to definitely re-roll that. I think I'm... Yeah, I
Do
have
you
a
want
hard
to use
time
social
connecting.
voyeur?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I have a hard time connecting enough as it is anyway, but like I'm more interested in why he would be pitching this the way that he is, and it still just feels very, very off. And to me, it's more like
I think
I would
that
just like to ask
social
5 other
voyeur-
questions.
By definition, we talked about the fact that social voyeur refers to the fact that mate often doesn't do the talking in conversations, but in conversations tends to kind of sit on the sidelines and listen to what other people are saying and like watch their body language and stuff like that, and have this kind of like voyeuristic approach to participating in conversations like that. So I think mate is especially tuned in to watching people's body languages.
Oh
and
yeah, in
things
this
like that.
case, they would definitely just be watching more than talking themselves. Yeah,
Yep.
I
Go
would
ahead and
definitely
re-roll.
try to reroll.
After this scene, can we like pause for 5 minutes? I gotta go to the bathroom and feed Malik.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Damn!
all right. If anyone would like to aid this roll,
Yeah, I would love to try.
Okay. So what you can do, obviously you can't do anything directly to improve mate's intuition. You could try your own intuition roll, or you could do something to like try to throw the king off so that he is more likely to make a mistake, and then that would allow mate to do another re-roll. I think it's more appropriate for mate to be doing the roll, but do you want to maybe Ruda does something that puts him in an interesting situation where you guys can deduce something based on the way that he responds to it.
Was
Ruda's
anyone
going
previously
to,
friends with the king aside from Aveline?
Knox.
Knox? Knox was friends with the
Knox.
king aside from Aveline?
Yes.
What was their level of friendship?
College bros.
College bros?
College bros.
He should throw something at the king. See what hand he catches it with.
Okay, now hold on. Before we do that, because that is
Roy with the super
that is a
saves.
complicated situation.
See how he holds up a 3 with his fingers?
All right, Inglorious Bastards over here. Is it the German 3 or the English 3?
What were you thinking, Ruda?
I was gonna pull a wrestling card and try to, like just try to shoot the shit with the king, SportRiot and
talk about
My
his
Wrestling Days.
favorite wrestling team and such.
Challenge the king to
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Okay, you already have an aspect called like celebrity or something like that. You are a known wrestling celebrity. So how about Ruda brings up his wrestling career and starts talking with the king about it, and then you guys can Mate can be watching for how the king responds to this conversation. Mate, go ahead and make one more reroll.
Man.
Hey, Kate, did you see that cage match with the tickler?
Okay. Come on, Mate. I need to...
That's better.
Jesus Christ.
Man, for real, I thought I was gonna be able to roll a cult on that because I thought I was looking for spooky stuff.
Okay.
I think it was just because I got all those rolls, so it like
Give
it
it
just went
another
the other
reroll.
direction.
Give it another reroll. This one's on the house. I'm so sad for you right now.
Yes.
There, that's legit.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you. You know our friend's a celebrity and we're rich, right?
Okay. So yeah, I am going to be subtracting some fate points as appropriate to carry this conversation that just happened. The fate points have been subtracted. So Mate, you are really off your game for the beginning of this conversation, but as Ruda starts getting into his completely inexplicable tangent about actually the tangent probably happens from the king talking about Kazap and the like Cliff Bars to Ruda using that as an opportunity to talk about wrestling. You watch his body language, and when there is the like sudden switch of conversational topics towards wrestling, there's a moment where he kind of goes his face kind of goes blank and he cocks his head to the side, not like he's thinking so much as if he were like listening for something. And then after a longer than usual period, I'm gonna say like a second and a half of that, he slips back into the conversation seamlessly, and it otherwise seems just based on how you see Nox reacting, this does not, he seems like he is talking, he's using the same like mannerisms and stuff that Ire normally uses, but there was that second of like he was listening or in some kind of like receptive mode for just a second there, when the switched.
Okay, and that's something that Mate would have been able to catch, right?
Yep. Yeah, okay. After a long, I think you had to like overburn your processor. You had to switch on the like liquid cooling to handle the processing on that, but you did eventually get through.
Okay.
Okay. So, do we want to say that the conversation wraps up from here? And move on to where things go next?
Yeah, because at this point I'm still just dangling Aveline, and I'm pretty sure we need to go.
Okay. So, all right, we're going to do one more quick scene with Aveline in the King's Chambers before she returns to her body. And I think you guys are kind of waiting on the cue of Aveline returning to her body before you head out. And then when you do head out, it is going to be under the supervision of Marco, taking you guys for a tour around the castle.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Had arranged that. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead with Aveline, you made your way over to the king's chambers. So, how do I want to do this? Yeah, that's a possibility. I could go that way. All right, Aveline. You head into the king's chambers. They mostly appear to be normal, but there is kind of just a like. We've talked about the fact that the warp takes on a bit of like the energy of the types of things that occupy the warp there. So, when an area of the warp has a big demon population, that creates corruption, and when an area of the warp has a big Nephilim population, that's what creates divine light. And when it has a big Fae population, that creates the spirit wilds, etc. This room has it's kind of like the whole room has just a vaguely okay. Imagine that there's a normal like picture of this room, and then somebody had made a picture of this room digitized, and then overlaid that digitized picture of the room over the normal layer of the room at like 20% transparency. That's very specific, but it's like there is a like a vague like hint of digitality to the room as a whole, which whatever is going on, you would suspect if you headed into Roy's room, it would probably also look like this. So that is not particularly unusual. There is one thing you find that is really unusual, and I'm going to need just a second because I have to open a new window here. Open a new window. Creatures. Furry. Yeah. Okay. So there is a creature. You don't actually. No, it's not that big. You don't actually know what it looks like in the physical world. I'm putting down this marker for it because even though you don't know it, it looks kind of like a mink but with horns. Okay. However, what you do know is that the warp shadow for this creature is also completely digitized, just like the king's. Yeah, it does not react. It doesn't like seem to know that you're there. But there is another creature that is digitized the same way that the king is, except this one is a small mammal. All right, I'm gonna give you one more thing that's going on. So there's this kind of like aura of like digitization in the warp. It's over this whole room. The creature is like completely digitized. There appears to be a kind of like a beam coming out of the creature, and pointed off in a direction, and the beam is like made of just this like digitized essence. So as you move around it, whatever is on the other side of this beam looks more digitized, and I think it really takes you a second to pick up that something is off there, because it doesn't have an outline, it doesn't have a physical body that you can see. It's just this like line of vaguely off texture. But that is a thing. That's as much as I can tell you.
Can I touch the beam?
Okay. Make a did I call it Arcana or did I call it occult? Make an occult roll. All right. 9 is good enough for our purposes. Okay. Huh. Okay. You've spent some time with the Children of the Warp. Have you spent any time around empaths? I mean, what's his name? Jeff's character was an empath, but did you spend any time training with empaths and the Children of the Warp?
I'm not sure. I don't think we specified a character.
No, we didn't. I just think I think you would be totally justified to say that you did. But
Yeah, it seems well rounded for a child of the warp.
I think that you probably just got a general psionic education about all the different types and spent some time with all of them to learn the different nuances and stuff. When you touch this beam, you get a vibe that is somewhat similar to when an empath is sending thoughts to someone else. I don't know where this... I mean, I do know. You don't know where this sits in relation to the conversation that's happening in the other room, because you are not part of that conversation. You touch this beam, and there is a very frantic chain of thoughts that runs through your head, as if somebody is trying to remember everything they ever learned about WrestleMania.
I'm so sorry to that person.
Yeah, and that chain of thoughts is being transmitted out from this creature. That is. After just a second, I think after just a second, that disappears and it goes quiet, and then every if you continue touching it, then every few seconds you'll get a very subtle suggestion sent over the line, but it's not a you never get that same big data dump like you did with the WrestleMania.
Okay.
Okay. Remember, you do need to get back to your body eventually, or else the party is stuck in that conversation until you get back.
I'm really sus of this creature, but if nothing else in the room is really catching my attention, I think that she's probably going to take this opportunity to go back to her body.
Okay. Give me just a second. Okay. Yeah, so all of a sudden you guys are Ruda is in the middle of his rant about WrestleMania, and Aveline has been kind of just like nodding over as if she fell asleep in her chair, and all of a sudden, Aveline perks upright, and you hear a little bit of like a what? And that happens, and from there, I feel like the party begins to go through the process of excusing themselves and asking Marco to take them on the tour. Does anybody have anything else they want to do before we wrap this scene up?
Do you think that Ruda noticed that that weird stuff that was happening? Like, Mate noticed it, but
oh, you
was
mean
Ruda just like too involved in his own story?
I'm gonna say no. Mate was only able to do it because Mate is like a professional body watcher, which is the creepiest thing I've ever said. Okay.
There is one thing. So, you said that Marco is going to take the group on a tour after this, and that Ire wanted to have a conversation with Nox. Now that Aveline's awake, like, I feel like she would take the opportunity to greet Ire properly. If Ire happens to mention that they're going to be, like, you know, doing the tour and he's going to talk to Nox, I feel like she would try to ask if she can also stay and talk, since they didn't really get the chance to.
Alright, I have to assume there are some, like, apologies laced in there as well.
Oh yeah, like she's just like, oh, I'm really sorry about all that. I was on a huge bender last night. Really sad about Daragh and all that. It's really been getting to me. Really sorry for the lack of decorum in your throne room. My apologies. I really would love the opportunity to get to talk to you one-on-one, you know, if that would be okay.
Perfect. Okay, so Marco says 420 blaze it, and then asks to and then offers to lead you guys on a tour while Aveline and Nox go have an informal you know, a cup of tea with the king in like the royal sitting room kind of thing. So the party and Marco are going to head out, and Aveline and Nox are going to have a conversation with the king. Now, because we spent a very long time on that scene we just did, you guys got some great stuff out of that. But I do kind of want to rush forward a little bit. So, first things first, Aveline, is there anything you want to get out of your tea with the king?
Tea with the king?
I really, like, I think she just wants to go at it from an angle of catching up, like, seeing how things have been, and, like, really wanting to dig into, like, how he's feeling about Ire, like, or Daragh. Like, I feel like she would take the opportunity to say, like, you know, this is a lot that you're going through right now, like, having to assume rule of this place, and, you know, these disappearances around town, it feels like a lot's weighing on your shoulders. Like, how are you really doing through all this?
Here's what I'm gonna give you, because I think this is like the most interesting thing that comes out of this scene. This probably would feel unusual to you, but he seems genuinely upset about his brother's death. This is the first non-suspicious thing about Ire thus far, is that he does seem to have like genuine normal human emotions about his brother's death, and he doesn't sound like he's, you know, like gloating and really happy to have taken the throne. He's saying all the right words about you know, regretting the circumstances of having to come to the throne and wishing that this day had never come and stuff like that. I think that because you've known him so long, you do pick up on when you ask some conversation. If you like change the subject of the conversation, he goes kind of, especially if it's something that would require like a very specific response, like when you're asking about his feelings about his brother's death. You also notice that moment of like lag before he responds. So I'm gonna give you that. You back up. You confirm the same thing that Mate learned earlier. Is there anything new that you want to learn from him, or does Aveline just kind of continue the conversation?
I feel like I think she's gonna. I don't know how I want to play this card.
What's the card? Let's do it out of character and just talk through it.
I kind of want Aveline to slip up and mention this animal, but not in like a specific way of, so, you know, like, what's up with that weird ass dog up in your bedroom or whatever. Like, I feel like she probably asks an awkward question that seems out of place, like, so have you encountered any interesting creatures lately?
or how about this? All right, it's your call. You can, if you want it to be awkward, then obviously we can do that. If you want a more natural way to fit it in, you talk about this pet that he had in college, and you ask what his current pet situation is, something like that.
Oh, absolutely. She's gonna go from familiarity.
Yeah. Okay. So, he responds and he talks about how he currently has he gives you the name of a animal breed, which I'm not going to attempt to make up, but it is a breed that legitimately exists and is native to this planet. So it's not like a crazy xenomorph kind of thing. It is just a native. It's a mink-like kind of animal. They're known to be very intelligent. I think there's something a little bit fucked up about owning one, in the same way that, like, it's a little fucked up if somebody just, like, owns a chimpanzee. Like, we agree on that, right?
It's more than a little fucked up, but yeah.
Like,
you shouldn't.
That doesn't feel right. The same kind of vibe here. Like, it doesn't seem like somebody should own like a creature of that level of intelligence. But he's very proud and very happy about his pet. It is not the same like species as the pet that he had in college. I think the pet he had in college was I think it is whatever the whatever the Bucchinian equivalent of like a potbelly pig is what he had at his college dorm. Okay, so you get that, and you can make whatever inferences you want about the pet he is keeping. Can we go on to do a quick overview of what happens with the party in Marco?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, party, you guys, you go on the tour with Marco, and he's going to show you around. So, just rapid fire. Does anybody have any questions any information they want to get from Marco, or about a particular area of the castle as he takes you on the tour.
I'm just wondering about the time sync again. Like, what point is Roy at in his side scene?
Oh, okay. So yeah, at this point, Roy has completely finished his time in the graveyard, and you have escaped. You are. Okay, so this would be about half an hour after you left the crypt. So where would you be half an hour after you left the crypt?
There would probably be some sort of tracking device on Mate or other members of our party that would direct me back to them. Roy is in a rush to get back to the main group.
Okay, yeah. So you with your hover bike, you are able to quickly maneuver around these cliffs. You probably come up in the gardens because the gardens are also overlooking the cliffs, and you can come up behind a bush and then walk out behind the bush and not have it look super suspicious.
Word, I'm Peter Baelish, y'all.
Yes. So you head out through the gardens. I do think that as you're walking through the gardens, you see a green-haired young man in a guard's uniform with a greatsword strapped to his back, sitting at a picnic table across from a blonde-haired young woman. The young man is Bucchinian, the woman is human, and they are having cordial conversation. There is some flirting going on, but I don't think that Roy recognizes flirting.
Nah.
Okay, so I just...
If anything, he'd cock an eyebrow and continued walking.
Yep, so I just wanted to drop in that was happening.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and drop
So I'm in with the rest of the group now, right?
Yep, you do catch up with them. It doesn't take you particularly long. Now, how you slip in with them is a good question. Let's say, I feel like you would have to do some amount of between the gardens and their group let's say their group is touring, maybe the Royal Library right now or something.
Mm-hmm.
Something has to happen to get you between the gardens and the library without getting you apprehended by the guards, and I feel like that is a stealth roll. So, why don't you go ahead and roll stealth, and if you need to, you can spend a fate point to
Okay, I'm looking at my aspects real quick to see if there's anything that I could possibly do. Oh boy.
Well, and remember, you can do an in-fiction justification to give yourself an advantage before you roll. So if you want to use your hover drone to maybe disguise yourself somehow.
I was thinking that I'm going to use my disc drone projector to not impersonate anyone specific, but I'm going to imitate the skin tone and some of the other physical characteristics of a normal Bucchinian castle worker.
I think if you do that,
I used some of the clothing that I got while I was down in the poorer districts to additional effect.
If you do that, you don't need to do a roll.
Okay. So yeah, I'll do those two to kind of and walk at a regular pace, albeit slightly hurried, to reconvene with the rest of the group. And when Roy gets with the group, he says to our crew, in a somewhat hushed voice so as not to broadcast this all over the throne room, "Misdirect the death. Oh, the clever deception. Flashes of the warp. Flashes of the past. Where, who, from whence do they come? This bodes ill for all."
Oh my god. Good. Okay. So Roy has made contact. We will have you guys all share notes in a little bit. Again, any questions for Marco? Anything you want to check in any of the areas?
No, not really.
Okay. Okay, then I think that Nox is going to Okay, so I think you guys finish your trip with Marco without much fanfare. Are you sure you guys don't have any info you want to try to gather from Marco? Because the point of this whole trip was to get you guys alone with Marco to
Yeah,
get some info out of
real
him.
quick, and this might be a little off brand for our group, so I'm not sure. Do we want to kidnap Marco?
Shit. I don't think that is at all off-brand for what your group is in fiction, because you guys are a band of like mercenary criminals.
Considering what Roy just told the party, Roy is down. Just so y'all know.
Like, is there any way we could do it without drawing the ire of all of the...
Kevin says Amil votes yes.
Okay.
It depends on if we're only kidnapping him for a short period of time. I can leave behind my disc drone projector and have it just project an image of him walking around doing stuff.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, we don't need him for long, but we should end this with taking Marco, because there has to be.
But I
more
won't
that
have my
he's
disc
not
drone
letting
projector
on.
for whatever comes next until we go back and get it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Well, how about this? I think that since this is not a you kidnap him for a couple days, this is like you pull him aside for a couple minutes. Let's say that you guys find an opportunity. How about this? You guys are traveling through the servants' quarters, and you pass an unoccupied room that just nobody is currently living in, and one of you just, without warning, grabs Marco and pushes him in the room. And
Okay, that works.
Okay, so you guys get in there. You have Marco alone. I assume you have something you want to ask him, or that you want to try to get out of him.
there's an image of Marco, Game of Thrones, walking through the gardens.
Yeah, we need to know what actually happened to the king.
Roy would use an interrogation ability. Let's see, what are they again?
I mean, it would be
Programming investigation. Yeah. So I'm going to pull out the Voight Kampf-esque thing, which I guess.
I mean, yeah. So what you're doing is you are substituting a software role for a diplomacy role, or something
Diplomacy for software.
Yeah, something like diplomacy, or one of those skills that you would use to try to get information out of somebody, and you're using your software role to do that. This is the literal purpose that ability was made for. So
I'm going to ask him, when did King Uruk die?
Okay. Okay, so I think that he can tell you by kind of wording his answers a very specific way. He can say without lying that the king's body was reported, or the coroner's time of death was blank, something like that. But you can tell that he is saying that in such a way that he did not say outright the king died at this time. So do you want to continue pushing him on it?
Yeah, Roy pulls out his gun.
Okay. So
and says, I'm going to ask you once more, organic. When did the king die? Not what did the coroner report. When did he die? God damn it!
No, you're fine. So some questioning happens for a while, and you eventually are able to narrow down that Daragh, the biological Bucchinian, died 2 months ago. Barack's body. Barack continued to be seen walking around the castle and doing his job for about a month after that, and then he was found dead in his bed, and the body was buried. The body that was buried is the body that passed away 2 months ago.
Hold on. So you said he died 2 months ago, and then what happened in the month after
He walked
that?
around for a month still and acted and still did stuff.
His dead body was what?
Dunno.
Yeah, so I think that at this point, as you push him, his story starts to fall apart, and he starts to run out of ways to lie to you, or run out of ways to, like, give fancy answers. And he tries to just lie to you outright a couple times, but Roy's software immediately detects that when he's lying, and you guys are able to push back on it. And very quickly, you guys are able to get through. And he says, so what you get out of him is that yeah, okay, so I'm pretty sure there's no like one question answer here. I think that it has to be you get the whole story out of him before long. Marco is an agent that works for SportRiot. Marco was sent here to supervise a body double that was put in place of King Daragh after he was killed. And after the king's death, the body double continued to serve the king's role for about a month before he was deemed unfit for business and was retired, and they ascended Ire to the position. There is some more. This is out of character, out of canon. There's some more that you can get out of this scene, but Roy is going to need to spend another fate point and use an aspect to get it.
So the question I guess I should ask is, what was the king's cause of death? And I'm still using my programming interrogation.
All for it?
Or programming investigation. And
yes, all necessary. So you can just invoke practiced interrogator here.
Okay.
So how do you get this? Okay.
He's gonna knock over the puzzle. He wasn't.
Yep, thank you for saving it. So the king was okay. Marco does not know what happened with how the king died. All he knows is that the king was being held in SportRiot custody at the time of his death, And because you are spending a fate point, the other thing I'm gonna let you get out of this is that so the king was kidnapped and replaced with a body double. The same thing happened to Ire when he took the throne. So I think that with some, it's not even difficult, but
we can deduce that they tried it.
By asking the right questions, you are pretty quickly able to get to the fact that whatever they did to King Daragh, they did the same thing with Ire before he took the throne.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty clear already that Ire is under the influence of SportRiot. Okay, I think that we've gotten enough from him, party, and that we can
thank him for his time.
Can
and
someone?
move
Oh
on.
shit, we don't have Beloved to wipe his memory.
How are you guys?
I mean, I can threaten the hell out of him.
We're rich. Bribe him.
Here,
Let's
okay.
do
So
both.
here's what I'm
Bribe
gonna
and
tell
bribe.
you. You get the impression that he will say whatever you want to hear right now in order for you to let him go, but your intuition tells you.
Bran,
Yes, Kevin?
I want to try something.
What do you want to try?
Okay, I'm just gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna be like, "Thanks for your help," and I'm gonna hit him with the butt of my sniper rifle hard enough for him to forget.
Is that how memories work, though?
Okay.
If you hit brains hard enough, they always forget.
That is true.
or
There
forget
is
to
a
breathe.
level with which, if you hit them hard enough, they will forget.
No, there's a beautiful threshold between damaged enough that it will never recover and it will die, or hard enough that like it's impossible to form like long-term memories in that time frame, right? So like
You're gonna need to make a medicine roll. It's either a melee roll or a medicine roll.
It's definitely not a medicine roll. I'm not trying to. Nothing about this.
Okay, if you're doing melee, then what you're doing is hitting him as hard as possible.
Yeah, that's
and
exactly
then-
what I'm doing.
Okay. Do
Or we could just cut out his tongue and cut off his fingers.
Man, we're going down a path.
what I was going to say is
He's gonna take his stumps and he's gonna tap out Morse code.
Okay. What I was going to say is, I think Nox suggests this. Why don't you guys just straight up kidnap him? Just put him on Nox's ship or on the Gemini.
Okay, here's the thing. I hit him. Nox says that afterwards, and I'm like, damn it, Nox, you should have told me that like 2 seconds ago.
Okay, roll.
Roll melee? Oh, jeez.
Oh boy.
You'll note that your medicine roll was higher than that. Okay, so an 8 is not terrible.
He's a butler that wasn't expecting it. Like,
no.
Is he magic?
Here's what I'm gonna give you.
Him in the temple.
No. You knock him unconscious, and I do think he's going to have a little bit of he's gonna have a pretty serious concussion. But you did not achieve the like surgical precision required to give him 8 hours of retrograde amnesia. So
But wait. We don't know that yet.
okay. He is
So-
unconscious. Nox
So
is suggest putting him either on Nox's ship, which is who's that dog? What's that dog's name? Like his vengeful spirit. Nox suggests either sending him over to like his vengeful spirit or to the Gemini to hold him there.
So Roy's going to suggest. Well, I'll say detaining him would be a drain on our resources. Why not strip him of his royal vestments and dump him in the Grey Quarter? It will take him time to return to the castle.
That is interesting.
That's
wait.
also legit.
Why don't
could
we
do
have the
that.
Galanga? Why don't we like fly him out to like a remote village where like no one will believe that he's like, I'm the guardsman, or like I'm the butler. You have to take me to the palace, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you drunk bastard.
That's fine. Okay, because it is 4:48, you guys are able to sneak him out of the castle, sneak him back to your ship, and then drop him off in a
village like 50 miles away.
Yeah. Perfect. No. Let's do one better, because this is an entire planet, and this is a home world of this species. You drop him off in a fucking other country.
Yeah. No. It's like he's like, I am butler to the high priests of or the king of Germany, and we drop him off in just like fucking.
You drop him off in the equivalent of China.
No,
Italy.
better. We just drop him off straight up into Tenochtitlan, like Aztec.
Well, he's gonna die that way.
He's gonna die that way. Yeah.
It's very good. Okay, that has happened. We're going to make a note that Marco's status is
unknown.
Just
MIA.
Okay.
Poor
Marco is
I
Marco
didn't even do anything with him.
I'm keeping his sprite around because it makes me very happy what has just happened here.
Yo, please have him come back with a vengeance and be pissed.
Yeah, he's gonna be the last boss of
He
this level.
becomes like a space pirate and just chases us.
He shows up 3 chapters later.
You remember me?
And please don't. I'm the one that.
Yeah. Okay. So
That one really shitty thing our party did.
Everybody to know that right before I hit him in the head, I was asleep on the couch.
yeah, Kevin was sleeping on the couch and then sat up and said we hit him on the head.
You just woke up out of a dead sleep and just knocked somebody out. Funny thing, I've actually seen that happen in real life before. It was just as funny.
Okay. So just given some pacing stuff, just to let you guys know, we are. I am modifying my outline for this level. We're going to cut the second half short a little bit because I was not anticipating how much good juicy shit we can get out of planet
Bucchinia.
Thank you. So originally we were going to do one half in Bucchinia and then one half on planet SportRiot. So we're going to, I don't know how that's going to look, but we're gonna change that a little bit because I want to spend more time here. Next game, I want to do. I want to have you guys talk with the circle of Ser Payter and his father and Jenny and her father. So we'll have them come up next time. And also, I want to do the Beggar's Feast, and I want to have you guys get some more information from the guards about some stuff that the guards have been seeing. So that's the stuff we're going to address next time. You guys got a ton of information this time, and I think that the party meets back up at Ol Dobb's tavern again, and that's where we'll pick it up next time.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, there was a lot of content in this. But I'm very happy with it. This was a very good game.
Indeed, good game, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna head out then.
All right. Take it easy, y'all. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Good work week. Peace.
Say.
Bye.